Earlier today, I saw a video from my colleague, Professor St. Ange, who was talking about the population decline and population collapse, not just in the West, but in lots of countries. I think the last time I looked, it was like 93, 94 countries, probably closer to 100 in the next couple of years that are just going to be they're going to continue to decline. That means deaths over births. That means there's nobody having kids. And it's a great video. I think you should go look it up. I like Prof. St. Ange, just so you know, St. Ange. I like his stuff. It's a 3-minute video, and at the end of it, he proposes he explains a couple of proposed solutions to this problem. Now, I would argue there is nothing to solve on this. Not because I'm some maniacal Bond villain who wants to depopulate the world. That's not it. I don't have the wardrobe for a Bond villain, nor do I have the lifestyle. It's not it. It's just that is the correction. People not having kids is the correction because you've distorted the currency. When you distort the currency, you're distorting energy, and you're distorting energy transfer. And when you distort that, when you cause that, you create people. You get people trying to come up with solutions to their life by scaling things back because there's no energy for them. In other words, there's no money for them. This is why you have a bunch of men not doing work, because men are very sensitive to this. They know when their money doesn't buy anything, they just stop working. This is why women, of course, the number one issue for them apparently is unaliving children in the womb, because they don't want to have kids. Because if they can't afford to take care of them, who wants to have kids if you can't afford to take care of them, right? We're not talking about buying them gold-gilded Rolls-Royce limousines or yacht trips or anything. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just being able to have, like on par. Well, people are very sensitive to this. And in general, this is how they respond. So what you're seeing is a natural correction to an abnormal problem that's been created, and that is with the currency. So if you fix the currency, then of course everything downstream of that will be fixed, but it'll take a little while. But if you try to do gimmicks, and of course at the end of the videos, he points out, not him, but he just points out what they were talking about, what other researchers have said to try and solve the problem. Like, okay, let's offer tax incentives, or let's offer UBI gimmicks, or things like this. These things aren't going to work because they're not going to, the very people that you want, and I don't know how, there's no nice way of saying this. If you're the ruler of the world, right, put yourself in this position. The very people you want to breed the most, gimmicks like that don't work on them. Gimmicks like that don't work on them. Tax gimmicks and UBI, like nobody, that doesn't work on the very people that you're wanting to breed. This is how you end up with idiocracy, right? So I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just pointing out the reality. And I think that, most people who follow my work, you know what I'm talking about. That if you're trying to get your proverbial best and brightest, well, those gimmicks aren't going to work with them. They're going to need something a bit more palpable. They're going to need, like, I don't know, maybe an honest system. And there's a lot more people that fit in that category than you think. I don't think that guys like, for example, Da Vinci were like a one in a trillion, one in every 500 years. I don't think that's the case. Da Vinci he had a sponsor. He had the ability, people, he had people that liked him, that gave him money to do a lot of this research and do a lot of the painting and do a lot of the thinking that he did. That is not exclusive, I think. I think there are plenty of people out there that fit in that category. You just don't know about them. Nobody ever hears about them because history was traditionally written by the rich people. True story. Well, in the days of the internet, now everybody can write history, right? I mean, I'm doing this here. I'm by no means rich, and I'm writing some history by just talking, or at least giving you my history, if nothing else, right? So that changes the deal a bit. And so there's a lot more out there than you think there are of intelligent, well-adjusted people that would like to actually have families and kids and so on. Gimmicks aren't going to work on them. So, no, if you want to fix that, and of course one of them was like, well, let's make small business more accessible for people. Like, well, as someone who's in small business, let me tell you what's going on in the small business world in another video.